welcome Mr. Aveek Bushan, Vice President and General Manager, Aerospike APJ, onto the stage, of course, with your round loud of applause.
Namaskara, Bengaluru. Namaste, India. A hearty welcome to the third edition of Aerospike Summit in APJ. To start with, right, how many of you were here last year or year before last? Show of hands, please. Okay, so not many people. Most of you are new to this place, so obviously this is the first time you're coming to the summit. Those of you who have been here for 2 years, thank you very much. Really excited by the kind of support you guys have given us over the years. What we'll do to start with is set the context of what we'll be doing throughout the day, and then we'll go over session by session, right? So we'll start off by talking about a few areas, which is about why we're here in the first place, right? What about the India stack, how Aerospike plays into this ecosystem. We'll look at why the ecosystem is growing with Aerospike powering it in some sense. A lot of use cases that you'll get to see and hear. We'll also get to hear from some of the technologists who are present here. And there are several booths outside. So we'll go over it one by one. Hopefully you'll have a lot of learning, opportunity to network with your peers, and most importantly, a lot of fun. Okay? So to start with, right, and a lot of you would have seen this before, right? This is something which is a showpiece across the world today, right? The India stack that everybody talks about. Really, it is about 4 key layers, right? The first one is the presenceless layer, right? Which means that you can authenticate any one of us today in real time, check who this person is he valid or not, is he or she valid or not, and it can be used in a whole bunch of use cases, right? From banking to telecom to, let's say, even the airport as you join a kiosk to get into the airport and so on. The second thing is the paperless layer, if you will, right? I think most of us would be comfortable with this because we all have an ID out here called the Aadhaar ID, a biometric ID with your iris and fingerprint and so on. Everybody in India pretty much has this. There are several layers to this. There's an e-sign layer where people can sign documents in a verifiable way and so on. There's a digital locker ecosystem where documents can be stored, shared, and so on. Then there's the cashless layer, which all of us are very comfortable with, powered by the UPI stack, which is, pretty much nobody has cash today, right? I don't think any one of us is carrying cash. And then powering the FASTag ecosystem, payment services that are on the stack, and so on. But the last interesting bit is the consent layer, right? Which we are all getting into right now after the DPDP Act and so on, right? Which is a way in which we can choose to whom I want to share the data, when I want to choose the data, and for what time window. And that has opened up a whole bunch of use cases, including the account aggregator stack, where you can work with a bank, you may want to share a data to a particular bank where you want a loan and so on, to the health stack and the consent artifact that powers the whole ecosystem. Now, why is this important? It is important because of the numbers on the screen. If you look at some of the numbers out there, 120 billion Aadhaar authentications done. Mind-boggling, right? Just 10 years back, 15 years back, this ecosystem didn't exist. That's the kind of numbers we're talking about. 4.5 million DigiYatra users today. This is something which is growing over the last 2 years. A lot of us frequent travelers, we probably use the DigiYatra ecosystem. Absolutely beautiful. You walk in, there's just contours of your face, they check in, and you walk into the airport. 1.4 billion Aadhaar enrollments, right? Pretty much the entire, this is a huge country, right? 1.4 billion people. So everybody has an Aadhaar ID. 20 billion eKYC is done. Again, ecosystem that didn't exist. Know your customer was a big challenge 20 years back. Now we've moved on. Everybody gets an ID. You can verify them in real time and so on. Again, in terms of payments, now this all of us have heard of. We've seen this in play. We are users as well. 20 trillion rupees monthly in terms of payments. To give you a context, and a lot of people have heard this is more than what a combination of China, UK, and the US do per month. That's the kind of mind-boggling numbers that we talk about when we talk about the UPI ecosystem. We all need to be proud of this. This is the tech ecosystem which is powering this. And obviously, the one that's growing right now, closer to a lot of people who like to drive, is the FASTag ecosystem. While you drive on the highways, while you park wherever you want. This is the ecosystem which is now beginning to grow, and 55 billion rupees monthly that's happening with the FASTag transaction. So amazing ecosystem being built with a consent layer, now 15 account aggregators helping with your consent to the banks and so on, and obviously a whole bunch of documents which are being verified through the DigiLocker. So why do I give this context? The context is because this is the ecosystem, and there are several layers out here, just named few, but this is getting built as we look at more and more solutions being introduced in this space.
Now, what does this mean? This means that for this to work, there are 4 key things that has to happen. The first thing is a given that if you have these layers to work, it is a given that for 1.4 billion people, you got to have an ability to handle scale. I mean, it could be the users, it could be the participants in the ecosystem. Now, obviously, it's an OpenStack ecosystem where people can build and make money out of the ecosystem. So it's a fantastic ecosystem that exists, right? And so ability to handle scale is one part. It has to be absolutely real time. You know, the quicker it is, the better customer experience you get, and that is part of the ecosystem. It has to work this way. And the other part of it is when these platforms exist, it has to happen that it runs 24/7. It can't be the case that for some reason your UPI transaction didn't work. People will immediately say, hey, cash is back, let's use cash as king, let's start again using cash. So the reason this has worked is it's never gone down. So it's very important that it runs 24/7. And lastly, given the India context, cost is a big play, right? You have to make sure that it is so low in cost that it actually works for everybody in the system. Otherwise, people won't use it. So all these 3-4 things are very, very critical because of which this whole India stack has worked over the last 10, 15 years. Now, why do I say this? What's the context behind this? The context is, this is exactly what Aerospike does. Aerospike does that, and this is why we are popular in the India stack ecosystem, which is we power systems which give you sub-millisecond latency, response time. As you browse through your mobile apps, as you're checking a fraud transaction, you're looking at a customer, from a holistic perspective and so on and so forth, it has to happen sub-millisecond. The second thing, which I talked about, availability and reliability of the system, it runs 24/7, but also gives you uptime, which is 5 nines and over. We have customers who are running it for the last 8, 9 years with 0 downtime. You'll hear from some of them today, but this is a common theme across most of the customers that use Aerospike. And when I talk about scale, I'm not talking of GV scale or TB scale. We're talking of petabyte scale here. The customers who have deployed petabytes of data on Aerospike, and we'll talk about a few of them today. And last and most importantly, because we are built on the hybrid memory architecture, the founder is here who built it, it gives you massive savings in terms of cost because the infrastructure footprint goes down significantly. It also means a whole bunch of other things, which is you can reduce your carbon footprint and so on and so forth, right? So that's another key area which powers the whole thing. And so if you go back to the India stack, these are the 3-4 things that has helped customers and the ecosystem players build a solution with Aerospike that makes it work out here. Okay, so we'll have sessions today talking about this in more detail. We'll have customers talking about it, but this is the context to the whole thing. Okay, so where is Aerospike deployed? A lot of them are here who will be talking about their use cases. Thank you for all of the guys who come here. But right from digital payments to infrastructure modernization, e-commerce, customer 360, 5G core applications, online grocery, real-time advertising, real-time gaming. The bottom line, guys, is if you're opening your app right now, some of you might be, if the session is boring, you're probably using Aerospike right now. You may not be hearing me, but you're using Aerospike because every one of the online properties you're using right now is powered by Aerospike today. I'm very proud to say that. So you look at any of the ecosystem players right now, which you're using right now, will be powered by Aerospike in the backend. And the real-time experience you're getting is because of Aerospike out there. Okay, in terms of today's talk, we have a lot of sessions out there. We have speakers from Airtel, HDFC Bank,
Pinegate, PhonePe, Myntra, Zeotap, Cred, IBM, and Confluent. Fantastic lineup of speakers, industry leaders, technologists, people who are working in the industry, and people who are building stuff on Aerospike. So I'm looking forward to these sessions. In terms of the agenda, we have 4 or 5 key themes around it. After this welcome, we have a keynote, which starts the Vision for AI series. We'll have a few talks around that,
which will be followed by sessions on financial payments. We have Ramesh from HDFC, the global CI of HDFC, who will be speaking here. We'll follow the financial payments track with a series of sessions on customer centricity, where customers will talk about their AI journey, their Aerospike journey, and so on. We also have sessions talking about the building blocks of AI, right? We all talk of AI, but what's the key, if you say the starting point towards AI? We'll have a few sessions around that with Aerospike engineers talking about how you could potentially use Aerospike in the context of graph, vector, and so on. And lastly, which is a key concept of what we have built, is how easy or simple is it to use Aerospike. So we have a few sessions around that as well, which should interest you as well. We'll end it up with awards and a cocktails night today evening. We also will set up a few games that you guys can play and have fun with as well. Now, it's not just the sessions out here. If you walk outside, there are 4 booths out there set up where we have sessions, essentially demos, pods set up for graph, vector, Kubernetes operator, and most importantly, the core aspect of our database. So absolutely feel free to walk out and talk to the engineers. They'll be happy to talk about how you could use Aerospike, any questions that you might have, and so on. Okay, the fun elements of Aerospike Summit today, right? There's a game that you can play outside where you can run, and the faster you run, apparently, you can win those whiskey bottles. So I'm going to compete. I want to win the whiskey bottle. These are Indian whiskey bottles, so people might have heard of Indri. It's the world's most favorite whiskey brand right now, from what I know. And obviously it has Amrut as well. So definitely compete on this one. There's another thing that we introduced recently, which is a mascot. I love pets, I love dogs. And we have a mascot right now, which is, she's called Spike. You'll see a lot of Spike outside, Aerospike and Spike. So I think it fits great with the brand. You can follow the LinkedIn page of Aerospike and also follow updates from Spike with the Fetch newsletter. So feel free to scan the QR code and get updates from Aerospike. While you do this, few other competitions that you can participate in. I would encourage everybody to participate in this one. This is absolutely fun. All you have to do is get onto the Aerospike LinkedIn page, scan the QR code, which I'm going to show next, post a picture on the LinkedIn page with either your pet, if you have pets at home, maybe your neighbor's pet as well, or take a picture with the Spike placard outside. There are some placards set up outside. Take a picture, post it on LinkedIn. But all you have to do is put in the hashtag of Aerospike Summit Bengaluru, okay? And then, most importantly, scan a QR code for feedback, because we love your feedback. We took your feedback last year. We've incorporated some of the things that you gave us. This year as well, please provide your feedback. And once you do these 3 things, you get a cap. And the cap has the new mascot of Aerospike. So this should be real fun, guys. I hope all of you will participate and give us feedback that we really want and make it a better thing. So next year we do an even better job, okay? Okay, this QR codes, I'll leave it for a few seconds here. If you can scan these 2 QR codes for the LinkedIn page that you can follow. These are updates where you get updates on Aerospike, on customers who are using Aerospike, technology updates, and so on. So I would highly encourage that you follow this page. The feedback QR code as well is out here. Like I said, take the picture with the pet and post it on LinkedIn as well. Okay, with this one, there's another AI photo booth. I think Crystal and the marketing team have made sure that you have a whole bunch of fun. So there's a AI photo booth set up outside. We can take pictures, you can creatively edit it and have fun with that too. And then there's another one, whole bunch of prizes right, all throughout the day, right? Where people who use Aerospike, people who are partners of Aerospike, have deployed Aerospike, we absolutely value your feedback. In fact, it's helped us grow as a company. Please do make sure that you go on to Gartner Peer Insights, post your reviews on Aerospike, how it's helping you. A lot of you have already provided feedback, but I encourage other people who have done it, who are using Aerospike, to also post your feedback as well. If you do this, and send this as an email to Karen, the email ID is out there, I'm told you're going to get a jersey from FanCode. FanCode obviously is owned by a customer of Aerospike, so you won't want to get a cool fancy jersey, say of your favorite IPL cricket team. Mine is RCB, I don't know if others, but anyway, of a IPL cricket team or India cricket team or whatever, right? So feel free to do that, provide your feedback, and get a cool jersey as well. Okay, with that, without further ado, what we'll do is we'll go through the fantastic lineup of sessions out there. I would request everybody to participate out here. It's not just a one-way talk, it's also about interactions, it's also about networking opportunities, asking those questions, making sure that you hear from the industry leaders and technologists. Very keen to hear from everybody. So thank you, everybody. Welcome again. Thank you.